Blog Talk Radio.
Live from Washington, D.C., it's Quintessential Listening, Poetry Online Radio. QLPOR, as it's widely known, features a bevy of poets, spoken word artists, and live poetry readings with best-selling authors. Your host is Dr. Michael Anthony Ingram.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this late night edition of the QLPOR podcast. My guest is Chayyim Eliezer Ben Israel. He's been with us before. He wowed the listeners. He's back to share more of his poetry and his music. Welcome, Chayyim, to the program. Hello.
Shalom. Greetings, everybody. Peace and blessings to all.
All right. Here I gave you that fantastic introduction with a lot of enthusiasm, and you're like, oh, hello. Talk to us, man. What's been happening in your world? What's been happening with you, man? Fill us in.
As we know, life is... Indeed. Life is moving forward. We're still writing.
All right.
We're looking for a good future. That's what we're hoping on. Passion is everywhere.
All right.
And we just have to continue to build in our art.
All right, very nice. So you're working with a group?
Actually, well, I guess you could say yes. But
okay.
I'm a solo artist still.
Okay.
I just like grabbing beats from other artists from time to time.
All right. Okay. Man, you're going to have to give me more than that. Well, it's going to be a very long night. It's going to be a very long night, man. You know what I'm saying? And it's almost past my bedtime, too. I scheduled this man for you. So you got to talk to me. I don't stay up this late. I'm old. I don't stay up this late. Okay, well, let me ask you a question then. Now, when you write your music, when you compose your music or write your poetry, do you try to be original or do you deliver what you think your listeners want? You try to try new things, or it's pretty much what people already know about?
It's really impossible for me to really write what everybody knows about.
Okay.
Writing from what I see, it's probably going to be something that hasn't really been touched on too much. That's what I strive for: originality.
All right.
Sounding like other artists is not what artists should do in artistry. To sing someone else's song, to give ode to another artist is one thing, but as far as originality, all artists should sound like who they are, so we can know each artist on an individual level.
All right. Very nice. Now, as you think about your work and the way that the world has changed in terms of technology, how do you view the internet and social media? Does it contribute to the well-being of your work? Does it help you to have social media to call on, so to speak?
Oh, yes, sir. That's a definite yes. Social media is a wonderful platform, for myself and all artists worldwide. We just can touch so many people, and the great thing about it is we're probably touching people that we don't even know that we're affecting. I'm sure there are people in small corners that have an ear to music and happen to find artists that can touch them in a time that they are in real great need. Music is a great art, and social media is a great platform for artists to expand themselves.
Very nice. Please share a poem.
Indeed. I cry in my sleep and awake with a smile. Because nothing of this world is worth my while, but I find joy because I seek it. I take what I need, and then I release it. But shortly after cometh the pain, if not first. Bungee jumping without a cord, living a life without knowing the Lord. Tempted at me, but dismissed. I prayed God would remove the thought from my head, from my lips. Just know there is not joy without pain. I can joyfully walk down the street and someone will want to gaffle me, but why do they hassle me? Because I have done them no wrong, and I could go on, but do you allow them to take away what is your joy? I should hope not. Because in the beginning, that is their plot. They need to stop. Do I look like a guinea pig to be tested like a crash test dummy? I think not. The pain hurts me, and I want to inflict it upon someone else, but that's just a thought. So I ask you, what can I do? Thank you.
All right. Powerful, man. Tell me about your motivation for writing that particular piece. What happened? What caused you to write that
one? I wrote this poem, I think around 92, 93.
Oh, wow. It's an old one.
Yeah. Just when you said give us a poem, that's actually what came to me. I don't know. I just went with it.
You did it from memory?
Yeah, I wrote that poem about 93.
Okay. So you shared that from memory?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes, my book is actually behind me. My books are behind me, and I'm standing up actually holding the phone.
Oh, wow. Wow, that's nice. Wow. Let me ask you a question. You said that poem was written in 92 or 93. You've been writing poetry for a long time. You've been a musician for a very long time. What would it be if you could tell your younger self anything about writing or music? Your younger self.
Oh, my younger self.
Yeah.
Take your time.
Okay.
What does
that mean? What does that mean, take your time?
And that's a good question within the question.
Okay.
Tomorrow is not promised.
No, it's not.
But when you wake up, that much is promised. So you know you have some type of time. So you should take all of it to gather a full thought, get the conclusion of a matter before you actually pick up a pen and try to write something. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. As you think about, I'm sorry, continue. I'm sorry. I cut you off. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, it was expounding too. I was going to say, sometimes you might want to write and not have an idea to write, but you can be inspired to want to write. So there are times that's happened to me, and I actually would just pick up a pen and get in front of my pad. Today, people are using phones to write with, but this is what I did. I would pick up my pen and get in front of my pad and just doodle, and it would come. So there's that instance as well, yeah.
All right. Share with the audience again your beginnings as a poet and as a musician. Your roots. How did you get started?
The poetry is my mother. My mother, a playwright, actually, did a lot of poetry herself also, and would take me to the venues, and I would sit there and just be in awe. First of all, that it was my mother able to do that.
Yes.
Elsie Spruill. So myself as a writer, living in South Central Los Angeles, and I grew up in Leimert Park area, the Cultural Center. It's just so cultural, and it's eclectic, and it opens your mind. It makes you feel free. And that's what really inspires my writing and what has always inspired it, just my culture and the life that I've lived.
Mm-hmm. Tell me about the concept of being free, because that means so many different things to different people. What does that mean to you to be free, man?
It does. Good question. Freedom. True freedom to me in the life that I've lived would be to not be oppressed, to be able to do what I know is right and should be done in situations in my community that we as a people should police, but that's just me.
Okay.
But freedom, just as a person here in this world, people are going to live their lives, and that's just a fact. You should be able to live your life, but your life should not have to impede or make me have to change mine. Whatever lifestyle you choose should not change my lifestyle. So if I'm not stepping on your toes, you don't step on my toes. The life should be good, and that is a real freedom to really be able to be relaxed, not worrying about what the next person is doing, to be able to get everything out of your head would be real freedom to me.
Okay. Talk a little bit about oppression. How do you handle oppression in your poetry?
Fused out in many different forms. Wow.
I'm on it tonight, man. I'm on it tonight. It's 11 o'clock. I got to be on my A game. It's your fault.
Man.
It's your fault.
Now, if you ask me that, we would be here all night, because I could open these books and spew oppression all night.
All right. Well, do you have a poem about oppression?
Yeah. Specifically? Wow, that's a good question. About oppression specifically. No, not really. I've mentioned the word. I can't think of the poem directly right now, but I do have quite a few of them, but not.
Well, what about oppression being the umbrella of the poem? You see what I'm saying? Oppression is the bigger issue, but you talk about something specific in the poem where oppression played a role in it. You don't have to use the word. I know you got poems like that.
You are correct. Let me see.
All right. I'm on it, man. Well, as you look for it, I'll play a beat real quick, and we will come right back, okay?
There we go. Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, then. Here we go. All right, we are back. Hold on one second. We are back. I am Michael Anthony Ingram. I'm here with the amazing Chayyim Eliezer Ben Israel. All right, you got a poem for us, man?
I have a poem for you.
All right.
Adult lessons. The aspects of life are subject to change due to the fact that the majority of them are man-made. I went to school to pick up on a trade. Life for death. As I shuffle through the board, my feet at a steady pace because my race appears to be at a standstill. But if looks could kill, then who would live? We have all looked into the mirror and questioned our maturity, our body's impurities. If we see clearly, then the vision was not blurry. I bounce off that and come back with the flurry because just as unexpected we are of life, life is just that of us. And so I thrust with everything that I've got into this forever growing melting pot. Good thing I was born pre-sunburn because I know I have a limit line to seduce one's mind with candy, women, cigarettes, beer, or wine. Come get your shoes shined or one swift kick in the behind. For those of us too young to be old and those too young to grow old, we just need arms to wrap around you like a necklace as we get through this thing called adolescence. Thank you.
Wow. Adolescence. You know, there's that new concept about, and they call it adulting. Sometimes it's hard to be an adult, man, because you got to handle so much. Man. You got to handle the good, the bad, the ugly, as well as the indifference of life, man. That's tough sometimes. As one who's dealing with it now.
And it doesn't stop.
It don't stop.
It does not stop.
So does poetry give you a release, and your music, do they give you a release to vent?
The music adds something else to it.
Okay.
The poetry, I feel great when I really get a poem off and a good poem, and it really feels great. But that music just adds something else to it and gives just the ultimate.
Okay. Well, see, to me, that's fighting the oppression. That thing that's weighing you down. You see what I'm saying? That's what oppression is. It's something that weighs you down. You know, it's fantastic, man.
Yeah.
We have a caller. We have a caller. Someone's here. I think you know this person. Area code 510. The first three numbers are 395. I'd like to bring you on the air to talk to Chayyim. Good evening. Good evening. How are you tonight? Hello?
Hello, I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing well. Welcome to the program. Do you have a question for Chayyim?
I don't have a question, but I do have some statements, and I want to say that I love you. I love your work. I'm glad that you have kept it going for so long, and I just want to encourage you to keep going. Your message is beautiful. There's a lot of people that need to hear it and that want to hear it. And I just really commend you for putting your feelings, your thoughts, and everything out there, being so vulnerable, because artwork makes you very vulnerable in so many different ways. So I'm really just glad and very proud of the work that you're doing and the encouragement and the messages that you are putting out.
Wow, those are some beautiful words, man. That was really nice. Really nice.
From a beautiful person.
All right. Tell us more about this person. Yes. Tell us more about this person, because she's fantastic.
That person. Man.
Yeah, well, he's one of the best brothers that I know.
Oh, okay.
And
I can tell.
I've known him for a long time, and he's always been a great father, a great friend. So I just really appreciate that God brought him to my life, and that he's still doing his passion that he loves. I'm sorry?
San Bernardino.
Oh, yes. Yes,
San Bernardino. All right. Well, I'm glad you called in and shared those words of encouragement and how proud you am of him. I like that so much. We need to hear words like that. Life is tough, and we need to know people validate us and believe in us. We really, really do.
Yeah, I definitely believe in them, and I'm always pushing them to keep on going.
All right, very nice. Thank you. Keep listening.
And thank
all right?
you. Most definitely. Thank you.
I'm having
love
fun.
You.
All right.
Love you.
All right. Beautiful. All right, man. You want to favor us with some of your music? I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry, buddy.
No. I was just saying that is my sister right there. I've been knowing her, like you said, for a long time. She has a beautiful family. She is a solid person. For you folks that know to understand solid, that is a solid person. And I'm glad that the Most High put her in my life. Definitely, and boy.
Very nice, man. I like hearing that.
Yeah.
I want to hear some of your music, man.
Mm-hmm.
What you got for us?
I would really like to hear A Real Place.
All right.
In love with that.
Okay. Now, do you recite along with it? Or it's just primarily the music? Because I would turn it down a little bit, you know. I don't want, you know, in terms of you trying to talk over it. You see what I'm saying? I would turn the volume down.
No. I'm gonna let that do its own thing. I'm gonna be quiet.
All right then, sir. Here we go. A Real Place by Chayyim Eliezer ben Israel.
If pain was a meme, I bet it would be black or dark or chocolate or any other color that symbolizes having melanin. Short chains, we gangbang, search of what mommy and daddy thought they could create before they realized that the first day would be the elevation of hate toward the most beautiful combination that ever existed. Indented, I find myself pushed away from the rest of the sentence, but my standout is the one that makes people want me gone. Good riddance. Why do we pinch ourselves to see if something is real, and whoever nicknamed my elbow Funny Bone is a liar? Stuck in a position like a twisted game of Twister, and everybody got the attitude of Mr. from Color Purple before his reality check. Speaking of checks, never mind, cause my grind is grinding me into powder, and the thought of getting mine screams louder. The only thing I can count on for sure is not finding a cure, cause the pain is that raw, uncut, pure, and I'm addicted. Not by choice of my own, but born to be afflicted. And when I do the math, I do get upset, understanding what I'm forced into and what I maybe could have had. If pain was a meme, the theme song would be For All We Know, and I like the original, but I'm going with Ruben's rendition because the album was entitled Soulful. It's crazy when you look down and see that you can't go any lower. Pain does have a ground floor, pun intended, but you can't feel anymore when life has ended. Keep taking deep breaths in, but still short-winded. Something good happened to me the other day. I was offended. A Real Place.
Wow. Man, tell us about the creation of that piece.
The song, the poem was written after the passing of my son. That was one of the poems that came almost right away when I could. But yeah, that poem is beautiful to me. It is really a beautiful, very heartfelt poem to me. I love it, and I thank the Most High that music came across my lap. I actually made that beat myself.
Oh wow! Very
long
nice.
After I had written the poem. Yeah, I had written the poem, and maybe 2-3 months later, I actually downloaded something on my computer, and I made that beat, and I recited that poem to it, and it was like, wow. And it went together, and I recorded it.
Mm-hmm. Well, it is beautiful. Beautiful. And like you said, it means so much.
Greatly appreciate.
What do you think makes poets different from other people? What makes us different, man, if anything?
Not having the fear to speak.
Okay.
Poetry makes you write what you feel, and that's what we do. Mm-hmm. We write what we feel.
Mm-hmm. Anything else?
Consequences come from consequences come from speaking.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of us speak against political systems. A lot of us speak against a lot of things, and we get a lot of backlash for that. that's just, it comes with the territory. Real poets, real artists are going to just speak. They can't help what gets inside of them to be said. They're going to say it, I would hope.
All right. Okay.
And, you know, a chance.
Tell me, Chayyim, about a poem you were proud of writing, but afraid to share for fear of misinterpretation.
Misinterpretation. Mm-hmm. I would hope all my poems are misinterpreted to a certain extent, because
right.
I don't think there's and I really don't know how to answer that. That's a good question. It makes you think. Poetry is going to be understood differently by everyone who hears it. Some points will be made, but I think as in listening to poetry, you know, I've seen some people in the audience go and ask the poet, "What did you mean when you said this?" So I don't believe you can misinterpret poetry. I'll understand it in a different way than the artist was even meaning it. Oh my God! Does that make sense?
It does make sense. It does make sense.
I sound like an artist, don't I?
You do.
Oh, great! Because
you do. Because you're right. There is nothing wrong with misinterpretation. I hadn't thought about it like that. Because if it's misinterpreted, that will make you think.
Yeah. When you asked that question,
yes, sir,
I really didn't know I didn't know. I've looked at some poems and I was confused. I'm like, how do I answer that?
Well, let me ask you this. How would you classify your ability to write poetry and music? Is it a creative gift or creative art?
A gifted art?
Okay. Tell me more. Tell me more. Talk to me.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
I don't know what you were expecting.
We were all born with gifts.
Okay, I'm sorry.
We were all born with gifts.
Okay.
And in some form or fashion, we are all artists. As far as creative arts to entertain the people or educate the people in some form or fashion, that is truly a gift that probably can only be expressed through the arts, if that makes sense.
It does make sense.
Some mechanics can do poetry, but I'm going to guess that the majority of mechanics are not poets.
Okay.
And that in reverse, because you don't want me working on your car. You'd rather me do poetry than try to work on your car. Trust me.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask this question. Like I said again, you've been out there for a while. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm enjoying talking to you, so that's why I'm interrupting you so much.
Same here.
Right,
this
great.
is what happened the first time. We both,
it was.
The speech is great.
That's right. Right. Well, let me ask you this. Then I'd like you to share a poem. What is one thing that you think makes your writing and music unique and different from others?
Probably simply put, it would just be the way that I express it. I really try to, and we all do. So, and they all say we all do this. I just really try to hit home at what I'm saying, and it's my vocabulary, I think, and that would probably make me that much different than most artists. My vocabulary and how I deliver my vocabulary.
Okay.
I love speaking. I love speech. I love confusing people with speech. It's so fun. I don't know if that's good or bad. I don't use it for bad. It's not like a superpower. But I enjoy speech. It's fun. So, it can get you in trouble, too, and get you out of trouble, too. So it's a great thing if you know how to use it. And I really like practicing.
Okay. Okay. All right. Please share a piece of poetry or music.
A poem actually popped in my head. And I really wanted to try something. I wanted to try to play some music on my end and do it, but I don't want it to sound bad.
Okay.
I won't do that to you.
That's okay. On this show, anything happens. Well, go ahead and try. Go ahead and try it, man. It's 11:30 at night. Just go ahead and do it.
I really do want to.
It's one of your creations?
Let's see. Well, the music is on YouTube. It's on my TV.
Okay.
But I'm just hoping that you can hear it.
Okay, well, just put it up to the phone. We'll try.
Can you hear that?
No, I can't hear it at all. Let me ask 510-395. Let me ask. Oh, 510-395. Can you hear that?
I can still hear you guys talking, but I can't hear.
Here we go.
Music. Right. Okay.
I can now.
Right.
Then we won't do it. Here we go.
Okay.
We won't do the music. I'll do the poem.
Sounds good.
I'm so low that I'm beneath the dirt. But I keep a smirk because I know of the power I possess. Smooth when in action, appearing to be at parade rest. My company never halts. I exalt the king and he endows my being with the supreme thinking, just on a lower level, so to remain humble in the event of my rebel and cause myself to stumble. I am merely the clay, being transformed into whatever he say. I am for my people. So I pray my words curve you from being simple. Ignorance looks like a tidal wave, but it's really just a ripple. I dedicated my life to a constant readjustment of my mental. No more lies. I must seek truth. They keep it disguised, the power to deduce. Most things are hidden in plain sight. A lot of us miss it because we have an overbite, and we over-exaggerate and over-procrastinate and over-masturbate just to come to the wrong conclusion, finding yourself still all alone in a jacked-up time zone. Usually when I write, it's not till I'm finished that I see it, wondering who I'm writing to, and the answer is the first person to read it. It all starts with me, this beautiful outlet we call poetry. Solidified in it, and faithfully I will proceed, air that I breathe. Used of God, my pen is my rod, and religiously I will ink everything that comes through the process of thought, internal immersion. Thank you.
Wow. Wow. You know, it is National Poetry Month. But there's still people out there who believe that poetry is dying. What do you think about that statement, that poetry is dying? Is it dying?
I'm still here.
All right. All right. Tell me more.
Yes. Poetry, that is impossible because it is already inked away in those things we call libraries. It is etched in the mind of youth. It is carved in the mind of the elderly. You cannot escape the art of poetry. You are poetry. Every step we take, you cannot debate. The truth is law. I'm an artist and I keeps it raw. You can't stop it. And that's just the topic. You see what I did there? You wouldn't dare. And I'm doing this straight from the top of the head of my hair. because I'm still like that. But the Most High keeps me straight, so narrow is the path, and I avoid his wrath. I'm going to let that go, and I'm going to stop right now. I don't want to take y'all time, but I really just went like that. Like, I'm really stopping, and I'm saying sorry, and I went somewhere, and I took y'all with me, and that's my bad. I just started rhyming. It just came out. Mr. Ingram?
Yes. Well, hey, it was fantastic, man. It was fantastic. You know, the fact that you're able to just put that together. You know what I'm saying? Profound words, like you said again, the love of vocabulary. I can tell. Let's take a brief break, my friend, and we'll be right back. We are back. We are back. Welcome to the Quiet Storm. I've always wanted to say it. I feel like a DJ tonight.
Yes, sir.
Welcome to the Quiet Storm. All right. Well, let me ask this question, and then I'd like to hear another poem, if you don't mind. What moves you to write? Music or poetry? What's the core impulse for you?
I believe music was inside of me, but my first writings were just writings. I didn't write to any music for a very long time, and as far as poetry, I never write poetry to music. I've actually never done that. All of my poetry is just pen to pad. That's how that comes out. I've written songs to music, but I've never written a poem with music, to music, never. I just write the poem, and over time, I'll find something that I can do the poem to or make it myself. Yeah, but never write a poem through music. That sounds impossible to me. If someone can do that, I would love to meet them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Question for you, my friend. Does it hurt you to write poetry? If not, why not? Or music?
Does it hurt me? I've written sad raps. I've written sad poems. I've written, it is actually hurt to write. But that is a hurt that is to make me feel good in the end. I don't want to write anything that would deface anyone, myself included. Not when I write. My first writings were not of an ill intent. A lot of writers that are in rap tend to come out with the battle rap mentality. When I was growing up, that's what it was. So my first writings were not that at all. My first writings were about life as I knew it at the time, trying to get a handle on it, so to speak, trying to understand things around me. So I would write it down, and it just would come out in a unique fashion. And so I practiced the craft and made it to where I can pinpoint the things that I want to say from the things that I see and or experience. I want to share it in a good way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What is the ultimate goal of your work? What do you want the world to know? Because this is an international show. It's beamed all over the world. What do you want the world to know about your work and you?
That I've experienced the same things that you have.
Mm-hmm.
I've went through life. I've hurt. I've lost. I've gained. I've given. I've loved. I've broken hearts. I've had my heart broken. We've all been through the same things. Know that I tried to make it feel better. Know that I tried to solve things within myself so that I could actually help somebody else do that for them. Right. That's what I really would like for you to know about me. And that's what I try to share through my art, my love for healing. Mm-hmm. I know what it feels like, but I haven't achieved it. If that is an understanding.
Okay.
I know what healing feels like, but I haven't achieved it. And so I want to share with people my taste of the healing. So maybe they can achieve a full healing. Maybe I'm the piece of the puzzle that they miss.
So let's go further with that. What do you think poetry does for the soul, my friend?
Well, good poetry can cleanse you instantly. Good poetry.
What is good poetry? What is good poetry? How do you define good poetry? Talk to me.
That would depend on the day, because what actually popped in my head when you said that was, after you read a poem, let's say you read a poem that's not yours, let's say you walk away wondering what in the world did he mean in that poem. That can be the most enlightening thing in the world, because this is my way of thinking. I believe that most people tend to think that they know what's best for them. And in thinking that, we all should know that we don't know what's best for us, because if we did, we'd all have Lamborghinis or the car of our choice and things of that nature. So we don't know what's best for us.
Right.
And please, everybody that's listening, I'm just speaking in the poetry realm. So those of us in that realm, we know what's not best for us. We're going to look for this thing that can maybe heal me in that moment. We're going to look to listen to somebody that's going to touch something that I didn't know was right there. So now I can see this thing because of the words you spoke. Made me understand, like, oh, and that right there is going to help that person, and they're going to go do the same thing. Poetry is a Band-Aid, but it's like a real big one, a chain of Band-Aids that just keeps sticking to people to heal them. That's what poetry is.
All right.
I keep telling everybody, poetry is going to save the world one day.
I'm going
That's
to
my
share.
slogan.
I like that. Poetry is going to save the world. I'm going to share a proverb with you, and I want you to tell me what you think it means. All right? You ready?
Yes, sir.
All right. Just when the caterpillar thought the world was over, it became a butterfly.
Now, that's pretty much how that goes. That's really it. It's like you're digging and digging and digging, and as soon as you get tired, the goal that you're digging for is right there. And that dang on caterpillar was so tired of crawling around, eating, until he cocooned. We get tired.
Yes, we do.
You know, it's like you said. You said it yourself. Life is rough.
It sure is.
It's tough out here.
It is, man. It is. And it takes us back to that word oppression, too. That caterpillar felt oppressed, thought the world was over. You see what I'm saying? Something was holding the caterpillar down. But he continued his journey and he persevered, or she, and became a butterfly.
Yeah.
I just made that up.
Yes, indeed. That is fulfill that mission.
Yes, fulfill that mission. Please share a poem or some of your music. We've got a couple more pieces to play.
I was going to ask. I want to kind of hear Shalom.
All right, then, sir. Hold on. Shalom. You want to talk about it first in terms of his creation, or you want to talk about it afterwards?
Let's do it afterwards.
All right, sounds good. Here we are. Shalom.
Spoken word at his finest, man. He got my boy Curly in the building. He ready to do his thing. Y'all gotta check him out. Sounds like we got a winner here. You know what I'm talking about?
Word. I stay open like reality. After you've witnessed the tragedy, to taste the agony should bring about change. But everybody wants to be the best in the game, and for that, they lack shame. As an artist, I go against the grain. What do I have to gain, you ask? Well, you be the judge, because we have all had our names dragged through the mud and hit the ground with a hard thud. The question then is, where is the love? Honestly, the last time I looked in the mirror, I saw one reflection. Staring in the face of truth, there is no misconception. I have a purpose. Must dig deep though, can't just scratch the surface. My earth is majestic and blessed with the power to bring forth positivity while facing adversity. Being eschewed from all absurdity, the first shall be last, and that statement in the reverse. Cats don't call upon the Lord anymore, they hollowing out church. And that's just a building filled with folks catching false feelings and saying it's holy. So I don't go off what they told me. Let the real be revealed. And if you have eyes to see, then see it. Take it a step further and be it. And behold, the new creature. Student now becomes teacher. And some will follow the leader. But most will remain in those chains, bound by an inaccurate account of personal gain. Love thy neighbor as thyself, that you may be in good health. I heard it said that love is blind, but how can that be true when I see to whom I give it to? So many cliches leave people dismayed and going any which way just to sound like you know. But what good is a flow if when you reach the ocean, you drown and there is no help to be found? I'm just asking. Lack of focus, but still multitasking while basking in the glory of folly. Went from popping gats to popping molly. What do you get at the end result? A bunch of dreams that can't stay afloat. As I quote scriptures to the best of my ability, keeping an eye on those trying to belittle me so they can feel greater than. My strength is in the great I am, while my life is but a vapor. I prefer strength with no chaser. Preparing myself for the things I read shall come to pass later. I've likened myself to those folks that serve you in a restaurant. A waiter. Love the things of God, so I'm no hater. And check my behavior. Learn the truth about my Savior. Don't let anything sway you. Obstacles aren't as big as they appear. The biggest one stares back at you in the mirror. Although we know who is the author of confusion, setbacks are merely an illusion. I've learned to keep using my gifts to uplift and touch a light, then watch the shift. I would like to thank you for your time. I consider it precious. Hearing me line for line is me being selfless. until all that is left is the memory of me being helpless. I give in. Shalom.
Wow. Talk about that piece, my friend.
Yeah. Yeah, I really wanted to hear that. That beat really complimented those words, in my opinion. I had that piece, and that beat. I don't even remember how I came across it. I don't remember where. I don't remember any of that. I've had that for so long. That is so near and dear to me. Life seems long. That I didn't write that in a day. That probably took me about 2 to 3 weeks to write that actual poem.
Okay.
Was kind of busy. Moving around, and it would hit me sometime, and it all just flowed. It wasn't like writing and then starting another piece to write. When I would write and go back to it, it all continued to flow, but it wouldn't all just come out at one time. It took me actually 2 to 3 weeks to write that poem.
All right. Now, if you could narrow it down to 3 words to that describes shalom, what would these words be, Mr. Vocabulary?
3 words for shalom.
Yeah.
Hope you feel.
Hope you feel. Oh, okay. Talk about it.
Hope you feel shalom. The word shalom means peace. Peace be unto you. It's just Hebrew. I believe it would be the language of my forefathers. So it just means shalom. And that's what I hope you feel. I hope everyone feels shalom.
You know, as I listen to shalom and as I listen to those other pieces, you seem to be a very self-aware individual. Correct me if I'm wrong.
You're not wrong. Yeah, that's upbringing.
Okay. All right. All right. Very nice.
Yeah, that's upbringing. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The life that I've lived, you need to be aware your surroundings and having a family, things of that nature. It just really pays to know what's going on. So yeah, I really pay attention. I'm really grateful that I'm able to write and speak my mind, though. I'm really grateful for that. I have to thank my father continually.
All right. So what do you think is the first step that a person should take to become more self-aware?
That's a great question. The first step in I got you.
All right.
Being honest with yourself is probably the first step. You have to be honest with yourself. If you lie to you and you know that you're lying to yourself and making yourself believe your own lies, that's not a good trait. So yeah, you have to be honest with yourself first.
So what exactly is honesty? A couple of weeks ago, I guess led a workshop on the word honesty, 2 words, honesty and humility. There's a group of people sitting around talking about what those words mean. What do you think the word honesty means, my friend?
I think I can explain that. So let's say honesty with yourself.
Okay.
Let's say you buy a hat and you know the hat is ugly and you're going to wear the hat and you say to yourself before you wear the hat, you say, I don't care what anybody else says. Then you should know that you'll do whatever it takes, which means you'll probably lie. I don't care what you say. I'm gonna tell you I didn't do that. So yeah, if that's a good analogy.
Yeah, you're going to have to break it down more.
I can't wear ugly hat, is all I'm saying.
You're going to have to break it down more. Ugly hat, not enough, man. You're going to have to pull a rest out of hat.
I can't wear a hat that I know is ugly.
Okay. Why? Why? Why can't you wear a hat that you know is ugly?
Yeah. Because I don't want people, I don't like attention in that fashion.
All right, there. All right, I understand.
Yes, sir. I have to. My standout is going to be because it looks nice, not because why he put that ugly hat on his head.
Okay. I still feel you could have done better than that, but it'll work for the time being. It'll work for the time being. Man, we've got time for one more piece of music before we end this program. I think you have one more. You sent me 4. A real place.
What 2 do you have then?
Okay, I have a real place. Let's keep going. Hold on. Free at Last. Or I guess that's yours. Joy's Pain. Is that yours?
Joy's Pain.
Yeah.
Let's hear Joy's Pain.
All right, then. Here we go. Everyone, Joy's Pain by Chayyim Eliezer Ben Israel. All right.
I cry in my sleep and awake with a smile, because nothing of this world is worth my while. But I find joy because I seek it. I take what I need, then I re-release it. But shortly after cometh the pain, if not first. Bungee jumping without a cord, living a life without knowing the Lord. Tempted at me but dismissed. I prayed God would remove the thoughts from my head, from my lips. Just know there's not joy without pain. I can joyfully walk down the street and someone will want to gaffle me. But why do they hassle me? Because I have done them no wrong, and I could go on. But do you allow them to take away what is your joy? I should hope not. For in the beginning, that is their plot. They need to stop. Do I look like a guinea pig to be tested like a crash test dummy? I think not. The pain hurts me. And I want to inflict it upon someone else, but that's just a thought. And so I ask you, what can I do? And so I ask you, what can I do? And so I ask you, what can I do? I cry in my sleep and awake with a smile, because nothing of this world is worth my while. But I find joy because I seek it. I take what I need, and then I re-release it, which shortly after But shortly after, coming to pain, if not first. Joy's pain.
Joy's pain. All right. Tell us about that piece, my friend.
Oh, Joy's pain. The title came first. I didn't know where to go or how to go with that piece. That title to me, Joy's pain. Those two have got to be twin brothers.
Interesting.
They go hand in hand. Yeah, you can't get one without the other. Such has been my life. Mm-hmm. It just goes that way. And that title, I had to really take my time in writing that poem. I had to really try to make sure I said something in that poem. That title blew my mind. It blew my mind. I was like, wow, that is very interesting. What am I supposed to do with that? Joy's pain. That's beautiful to me. That's a great depiction. I wish actual artists who could depict that in their art, that would be beautiful to me. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I know I said a lot. I'm sorry.
No. My last two questions to you before we go. Number one, do you think you were meant to be a poet or musician as well?
I believe the musician thing, figuring out how to make music to go with it is an extra added thing. That's extra. The actual being able to write, to me, is the actual blessing, and I'm so thankful that I was chosen to be able to do that. I had nothing to do with that ability. The only thing I can actually say that I did is I learned how to spell and to study, and that has helped me in being able to get that craft to where it is now. That is the greatest gift that the Creator could have ever given anybody. He gave it to me. So as thankful as I can be, I am that.
Mm-hmm. I like that. You know, as you just said, yes, you said that the Creator gave you the gift. What surprises you most about having the gift?
Did you say what surprises me most?
Yes.
So in the poem that I said, usually when I write, it's not till I'm finished that I see it, wondering who I'm writing to, and the answer is the first person to read it. So I am so astounded of the things that he's saying to me, because every writer is you're speaking to yourself first. Mm-hmm. You're writing it, you're reading it, you're talking to yourself. So we're all crazy. I don't think they all know that, but we're crazy. We speak to ourselves all the time. Anyway, that's a writer's joke, and I just made that up. Yeah.
You know what? We've come to the end of our journey, man. But I want to thank you for sharing your work, sharing your wisdom, so profound. You're a good man. You're a good man.
I appreciate that. Coming from a good man, that feels good. Thank you.
All right, I like that too. Where do you go from here with your music and your poetry? Where do you go from here with your music and your poetry? What's next? What's next creatively?
In all honesty, I'm really trying to plan a trip. I'm actually trying to go to Africa I would like to have that experience to see where my writing goes. A lot of my writings are based on the hurt and things I've experienced here in this place. And I want to go and experience something different. And the only thing that I could imagine and fathom in my brain would be to leave this actual place and go to Africa and see that. I believe that would expound me in a way that I probably can't come back from ever. And I'm looking forward to that. And I'm hopefully praying for soon. Mm-hmm. Don't know how soon, but I would love to go to Africa and see what that does to my brain and how it changes my writing perception.
Any particular country in Africa?
Yes. I'm thinking Kenya, actually. Yes, I'm thinking Kenya.
Why Kenya?
Yeah. It looks beautiful on my computer.
Yeah. It is beautiful. It is, my friend.
It looks very beautiful. That's all I have.
All right, hey.
I mean, I'm looking it up, and it's very cultural. Yeah, mm-hmm. It's mm-hmm. cultural. They have a nice economy, and I'm speaking with people there, so I'm going to try to cultivate something there, and I'm going to go visit it sometime soon, I'm hoping.
All right. I know you will, man. I want to thank you again. You know, actually, this is one of the best shows I ever had. I might need to start doing 11 o'clock at night all the time. It really is one of the best I've ever had. So I want to thank you for that. You restored my spirit. You made me laugh.
I appreciate that feeling. Yes, sir.
All right.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Well, how can people find you if they want to talk further with you?
I am trying to be all over the place. Facebook, Chayyim Eliezer Ben Israel, or Clear Mental Music Publishing on Facebook, at Clear Mental on Instagram. Y'all check out Slumber the State on YouTube. And I have a website, www.clearmentalmusicpublishing.com. Email me, clearmental@yahoo.com. Yeah. I like to talk, but if you want to talk, let's talk about something. If you hit me up and you don't want to talk about nothing, we will not be speaking. Let's move forward. Poetry is a beautiful art.
Yes, it is. I've always wanted to ask you, what does clear mental mean?
That would be on an individual basis for myself.
Okay.
Removing as much stress out of my thought process as possible. A good, clear decision is always a beautiful one. The least amount of clouds can only help you make a better judgment on whatever situation that you're in. I coined the term some time ago and made it my company, Clear Mental Music Publishing, LLC. Let's go.
All right. You mean business. That's all right. All right, man. I like that. Well, again, I want to thank you. Maybe we can make this an annual thing where you come back every year to share some of your work with us. I'd like that very much.
Sounds good to me. To me.
All right, then. Thank you. I want to thank your guest, area code 510, your sister, 395. I want to thank you for sharing your words of encouragement.
Hey, Charmin.
All right, everyone. We made it through it. Beautiful program. And as I share with you every time we're together, let poetry ring somewhere throughout the land. Good night. Good night, everybody. Take care.
Good night, y'all. Thank y'all.
Quintessential Listening, Poetry Online Radio, is available on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, and Stitcher. You can also check out the website at QLPOR.com.